welcome to a little bit of a different episode today. I'm standing in front of a racetrack which isn't all that different, but we're actually on the other side of the world. This is obviously the Nürburgring. I'm standing in front of the 17-kilometre mark here at the moment. We're, me and Naomi, doing a bit of a tour, 3.5, 4-week tour of parts of Europe, and the last couple of stops, well, they're all motorsport related. Yesterday I went out to, the last couple of days I went out to Spa for the Formula Ones, got some primo seats at Le Rouge, and I'll insert a clip here, but that was bloody awesome watching the sprint race for the F1s. And now obviously I'm at the Nürburgring, which is about an hour and a half from Spa, and weather's holding out, which is good because in a couple of hours time I've got a BMW lined up to go and cut some laps myself in. So I'm pretty bloody excited. You play this track so much on PlayStation and Xbox when you're growing up that it's pretty surreal to be here in the flesh. So yeah, as you can tell, there's some very fast cars going around here, and I think Naomi's going to come for the first lap, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this place is awesome, and I'm very keen to get out on track. Hopefully the weather holds off, but if not, I'll be doing some rain laps. A little bit of voiceover since most of this is just going to be me driving in silence. This is the entrance to the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife, and being a actual road, you have to have a road legal car. Even though this car I'm driving has a roll cage, it is fully road legal, and the actual entrance here, you don't have to go too far to get out onto the track. You come up to these booths, and you pretty much just have a card that lets you swipe past, the gate opens, and out you go. Only problem for me is it's on the wrong side. I don't have a left hand and I can't reach the swiping machine there. So old mate in the high-vis gave me a hand, and once he gave the card back to me, we went out for our first lap on the Nürburgring. Very exciting, but also a bit nerve-wracking at the same time.
Time for the tour to begin.
Yep. Nürburgring. So being a weekend, there was a whole bunch of fast cars out there and fast drivers, probably more than you'd see during a normal typical week, and I was having a look in my mirrors pretty much every apex for the first lap and a bit to make sure I wasn't cutting anyone off. The etiquette out here was very high. Everyone moved to the right hand side if they're slower, and thankfully there was no dive bombs, but lots of fast cars and you'll be very wary of them. The carousel in the Hemi.
Yep.
This thing, I don't know what it just did, but... Nürburgring.
Cool, and that's all I need to do.
You feeling okay?
I feel okay, but if I did another lap, it would 150% be pushing it.
Yeah.
And I'm already thinking to myself, the bath bag that got is only just within reach, so...
Hey Joe. Go.
Have fun.
Thank you. So after dropping the speed limiter at the Nürburgring's cafe and after a little bit of help from Mr. High-Vis again, we went out for the second lap. This time I knew a little bit more of the track, but still generally had no idea. But I started manually shifting the car and feeling a bit more confident, so I was keen to get stuck into it. Well, by the end of the second lap, I was starting to feel pretty comfortable with the car. It had plenty of grip for the speed I was going, and the brakes, while they're super annoying in the noise department, they had pretty good feel to them. I wasn't having to look in the mirrors nearly as much, and I'd sort of didn't know the track that well, but I'd figured out the landmarks before the danger points, so I was feeling a bit more confident in those corners or straights where you go over crests. So the only real mistake here was that I went for the line that didn't have an attendant, as you'll see in a second.
In the arms of the angel.
I was not built for to be on that side. Oh, that was exciting.
100. At least I'm not going so slow now that there's that I'm getting caught up on every 2 seconds. It looks like something's happened here since last lap, because there wasn't any slow zone here last time. I think this Renault Megane's going to want to go straight past me when we get past this bit. Oh, yep, someone getting towed. But also at the same time kind of glad it's over. No damage, no issues, just some good fun. No record lap times, but that was good. This car's actually a blast. It's like really, it's got a lot of grip, a lot more than I probably had in a car before. I felt like if anything happened, I could get on the brake and stand on the brakes pretty good in this thing. Wouldn't do anything dumb, had good turn in. I think a little light once, but generally speaking, this thing was bloody brilliant. It's not slow either, it's a 2-litre turbo, so actually moves pretty good. I was pretty impressed, but full cage made me feel a bit more secure. Helmet, harnesses, all the stuff you want when you're flying around. There is just people everywhere out there, and I don't know how much I trust most of them. So yeah, so that's my 3 laps done of the Nordschleife, or however you say it. I'm really terrible at saying words from other countries and other languages, it turns out. But yeah, definitely do it if you ever come out. Just make sure that you're covered with insurance, and don't do anything dumb. Don't try and set lap records, because that's not what you do here. I've done my 3 laps. The GoPro seemed to have plenty of batteries, so I just went and did it. That was enough. I was getting
too confident?
Not too confident, but I was learning the car and the limits of the car faster than I was learning the track. So I was going over blind crests and through corners I didn't really know where they went, going, I think this is right, it'll be right. So I think Dad was right. 3 was sufficient laps out here. Did you have fun on your 1 lap?
Yeah.
Excellent. I gotta say, that was a bloody awesome experience, being out there after playing that track so many times on PlayStation, on Forza, on the Xbox, whatever. Finally going out there and driving it myself. It's some next level stuff for sure. Not just the track, but with the tourist side of things, having people fly past you. People that I'm not sure if they necessarily had a lot of skill, they just knew the track. There was a couple of times I saw some people go a little bit sideways and it get reasonably ugly. So yeah, it is certainly pretty sketch. I'm glad that I went with Rent for Race because they had an insurance
that meant there was a maximum of €5,000 excess if anything happened. It covered the car, it covered other cars, it covered the fencing on the actual track itself. So I am very glad that I went with that, because it is definitely reasonably sketchy, particularly on the weekend, which is, I did it on a Sunday. There was a lot more people that came out for the weekend too, rather than just people coming out on holiday and renting a car, because it was a Sunday, so there's a lot faster, I think, people out there, and because of that also a bit more sketchy. So that was it was an awesome experience. So 3 laps was enough. I was starting to get a little bit confident, and I still didn't really know the layout of the track properly, so 3 laps was enough for me to say I did it. I had some fun. I got a good photo of me lifting a wheel on one of the ripple strips around the corners, because they've got photographers everywhere that all upload photos to a website, and then you can go and find your car and find photos of you out on track, which I bought a couple of. So yeah, that was awesome. The car was actually pretty good. It was a 2-litre turbo DCT BMW. It was plenty quick for what I needed, and it had some upgraded tyres, suspension, brakes, that kind of thing, and a full roll cage, which means you can wear the helmets and have all that safety side of things too, which is probably a needed thing after seeing how fast you can go and how close those barriers get. So anyway, that's this video done. I've got to fly back to Australia now, so I got a nice 24 hours of flying ahead of me. But we should be back pretty soon with another video, because we've got round 3 coming up of the drift series. So I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.